Carros de Foc, it's a multi-day hike. It's about 63 kilometers long, and usually you can do it in 5 to 7 days. The hike is located in Aiguastortes y Estany de Sant Maurici National Park, and this park is filled with lakes. There are over 200 lakes in the park, and during the hike you will see most of them. The hike, it's located in Spain. It's up here, very close to France. It's in the Pyrenees, also very close to Andorra over here. Go closer, so yeah, we can see the routes right over here. So yeah, let me show you the numbers of this hike. It's 63 kilometers long. The elevation gain 4,600, and also since it's a circular route, so you go down the same amounts. The best way to start the hike would be from a spot over here. It's a cute little town. There are a few campsites you could camp, also little hotels, a few restaurants, and a supermarket. So it's a good place to kind of base yourself there, spend the night, and restock if you need like last minute snacks or supplies. So this one is a good place to start and end the hike. And the easiest way to get to a spot would be with your own car. It's about 3.5 hours from Barcelona, and they have a big free parking lot here right in the town, so it'd be very easy to leave your car there for a few days. But at the time I didn't have a car, so I took a bus. So with the public transport it's also very doable. However, you do need to count like one full day just for the traveling. So I took a bus from Barcelona, and it dropped me right here on this route. It didn't go all the way to a spot, but it dropped me off here, and then I walked from the road to a spot. This bit was about 7 kilometers, and you can kind of see there are some switchbacks over here, so you do need to gain a little bit of elevation, maybe a few hundred meters, I think. And then I camped in a spot. There's a really nice campground, also cheap, so if you're on a budget, yeah, you can just use the campground. And then they were nice enough for me to leave my tent there, like my camping gear. I told them, okay, I'm going to do the hike, and I'll come back here and, sleep another night. So they let me to, leave my tent and a bag there, So the trail itself starts over here. It starts at the Estany de Sant Maurici. It's one of the biggest lakes in the park. And from a spot, you could just walk there. You could just hike. There's a trail, and it follows this river here. It is the 7 kilometers to do it. So if you have the time and energy to do the hike, go ahead. Why not? But you can also take a Jeep taxi from a spot. They go very regularly, they don't have a schedule, but they just, whenever there's enough people to fill up the taxi, then they would drive you to the lake. And they start early in the morning. I took mine between 8 and 9 a.m. Since the hike itself, it's a circular route, so you can do it either way around. Normally, people tend to do it anti-clockwise, and I think I know the reason for that. So I did the hike clockwise only because I didn't manage to book the mountain huts the other way around. If you're thinking which way you should do the hike, I think the only factor here is the Col de Contraix, which is the highest point on the route. It's the mountain pass. It's quite steep here on both sides, but the main thing about this col is that on this side, on the northern side of the col, there is a really big boulder field. So it just really depends whether you want to go up the boulder field or come down the boulder field. So when I did the hike myself, clockwise, I had to go down the boulder field. Yeah. So the route, it's connected by 9 mountain huts, also known as refugios. And I'm going to show you here. They have a really good page where they have information about all the refugios. And here you can see there are 11 of them. However, if you do the original route, which is just this hike over here, you would go through 9 mountain huts. However, there are a few extensions, so you could go to 2 different mountain huts. But on this route here, it's 9 of them. So you wouldn't go through this Refugi Pla de la Font or Refugi del Gerdare. So these 2 are not included on the original route. They have a really good webpage where you can book all the refugios for the hike. So they have a calendar with the availability and everything, and then you just choose the refugio where you want to stay, and then you just book them. I'm gonna put the link down in the description so you can access there. So the hike is connected by 9 different mountain huts, and those are actually the only places where you can sleep along this route. So you won't go through any little towns where you would find hotels, none of that. The hike in a way, that's why it's very isolated, and that's very nice. Regarding camping, so if you can take your tent there and sleep in a tent, absolutely not. So since the hike, it is located in the national park, and the Catalans, they are very proud and really protective regarding their national parks. So camping or pitching your tents in any case, any scenario, you cannot do it. Just don't even try it. So since you are staying at the mountain huts, you get breakfast and dinner at the mountain huts. They can also prepare lunch for you to take away. But I decided to carry all of my own lunches or like snacks with me. And then I would eat the dinner and breakfast at the refugio. So in a way you can do the hike with a very light backpack if you just buy all the food at the refugios. The hike starts from this lake, the it's Catalan, Estany de Sant Maurici. My first day was less than 10k, so in a way quite easy, and 900 meters of elevation gain. It was just basically one big climb here to this mountain pass, and then you go down all the way to the Refugio JM Blanc. And this refugio was my favorite. I would highly recommend trying to sleep here because the refugio is it's so beautiful. The location of the mountain hut is stunning. It is right next to this lake, although like most of these refugios, they are next to a lake because the lakes are everywhere. That's the whole point. But still, this refugio was really beautiful. Like they had these like bean bags outside and a lot of tables, so you can kind of chill and hang out. And then you can see the sunrise and the sunsets like reflected on the lake. So it was really beautiful. You can get some nice colors. So I really enjoyed this refugio. On the day 2, it's a bit longer, 18k. But elevation gain, kind of the same. But here you kind of go over 2 different mountain passes. And it was beautiful. Again, you can see just a lot of lakes along the way. And kind of halfway through, there is the Refugi Colomina. I had a nice coffee break there. And then you start climbing again to the second mountain pass. And then you just go down to the Refugio di Estany Llong. So second day, it was good. I really liked it. A lot of lakes, different, a bit of greenery, and then some rocky parts as well. But it was really beautiful. And then day 3. This day, oh my God, it was so traumatizing. But yes, if you look at the numbers here, not too bad. It's just 15 kilometers. Elevation gain, 1,300. The numbers aren't that scary. And that's what I thought, like, okay, I can do this. You go, it does include the highest mountain pass on the route, the Col de Contraix over here. But what I didn't know when I planned this hike, that's over here right after the col, right after the mountain pass, there is a massive boulder field. And I hate boulders. I'm not good at them. I don't feel comfortable. I see them as really, really risky place, you know, like high chance of risk of injury. So I'm not a fan of boulders, and these are like massive, massive boulders. Like you need to be climbing with your hands, and you know you can see like proper like voids there between the rocks. So you need to be careful how you jump on the rocks. And also it's not well marked. There are no paints, like these little dots of paints for way marking. None of that. You could only kind of find these piles of stones that other hikers leave behind. And that's about it. That's why I got lost a few times, just because I didn't know. I mean, obviously you do see the way down, like, okay, you're in a valley, you know? So you do need to go down. You see the lakes at the end, so you kind of just need to go down. So you know the direction where you need to go. However, since you have all these big boulders all around you, it wasn't so easy to find the best way, like which side of the rocks you go, you know? So I found it very frustrating, and it took so much time. Like on the map, you kind of think, yeah, it's like 1K, 1K and a half, and it's just descending. So it should be easy peasy, you know? But no, it took, I don't know, probably up to 2 hours I was, you know, going down this bit. The day started fine, you know. I knew I had the big climb. It was the first thing in the morning, so I thought, yes, this is perfect. This is what I like. Like, okay, I get up, I leave the refugio, I start climbing. And it's a big climb. Okay, you do hike the whole 1,300 meters in one go, but that's okay. It didn't feel that bad. And then once you get over the mountain pass, I thought, okay, the hardest part is done. You know, now it's just downhill. There's a refugio waiting there where I can have a little break until I get to my final destination. But no, this part over here, it was traumatizing. I don't know if I would do this hike ever again because of this boulder field. And I'm sure, like, for some people, they like boulders. They're fun. They're adventurous. But not for me. I don't like them, not one bit. No. So also this is to consider whether you want to do the hike clockwise or anti-clockwise. So just think about it. Massive boulder field. Do you want to hike it up, or would you rather go down? So that's the kind of the decision you should make. Yeah. Anyways, at the end, very exhausted, I managed to get down here to these lakes, and then there is a Refugio Ventosa right here. Again, really beautiful refugio, and I wished I stayed here. The location was really beautiful, and also I really wanted to stay here because I was so exhausted from the boulder field. I really, really wish I had booked this mountain hut, and that's the thing. If I would do the hike again, or for anyone, you know, who's planning the hike, and doesn't matter which way you do the hike, you should definitely do the stretch from Refugio Ventosa to Refugio Estany Llong. So from this refugio to here, that's enough. It's enough work for one day. But yeah, I didn't manage to book this hut, so I had to continue another 6 kilometers to this refugio over here, Refugi Restanca. It's right over here, like beautiful. There was a lot of fog. Okay, however, this was in the morning. When I left the refugio, there was a massive fog. You couldn't see anything. But when I got there, like, it's nice. It's a nice. It's next to a lake. Yeah, beautiful. But the way there, I was so exhausted. Like doing this here, I was so exhausted. Don't really even remember much about it because I just wanted to be done with it. And also, this route here is not the correct one. The map that I had, the route that I had planned, it actually went over here, more or less. Not sure which side of the lake, but like it did like a loop like this, you know? But once you leave the Refugio Ventosa, I mean, there were a few signs that, okay, to the Refugi Restanca, yes. But I didn't know that there are 2 ways to get there. So I just saw the first sign, okay, Restanca, I'm gonna go there. So I ended up going this route, and then at some point here, I kind of checked my location and I realized, okay, it's not the right one. But I still would get to the destination. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll just continue. If it takes me to the right mountain huts, great. And day 4. So yeah, day 4 starts with the climb. Here you go back up to the mountain pass. And then, yeah, you go up and down, the whole day. Nothing super hard. Like, yeah, you go, elevation gain is over 1,000 kilometers, 12 kilometers, so it's not that long. And I remember it was nice and it was quite exposed area over here where you have the mountain passes. Then you go down to Refugi Colomeres. It was another nice refugio to have a little coffee break. This bit here was nice. It was a lot of forests, very green. So it was beautiful. And then you kind of do a bit steep climb, but yeah, not too bad. And then the day finishes at Refugi Saboredo. And the last day was pretty chilled. Less than 10k elevation gain, you're barely climbing at all. But it was beautiful. This one I liked a lot. You do the climb kind of here, you get to this mountain pass, and then you go over, you get to this beautiful valley. You have some lakes over here, and then there's the Refugi de Amiches. This refugi as well, I really loved it. I mean, I didn't spend the night there, but I had a break, got a coffee, but the location of it was really beautiful. Like you can see even here, you have the mountains here, and then on the other side you have these few lakes. So it's really nice. It was a really beautiful location for our little mountain huts. When you continue down from this refugio down to the lake, it's actually a gravel road. So the hiking part, it's easy. You're just walking on a gravel road. And then, yeah, you just finish at the lake. And that's the whole hike. So the best time to do the hike is the summertime, from mid-June to end of September. There still should be some snow, especially at the Col de Contraix, which is the highest mountain pass. I did the hike myself in mid-July, and there was still quite a bit of snow at the mountain pass, the Col de Contraix. Between the boulder field and the mountain pass, there was a lot of snow there. Although in my case, it actually made the descending easier, because you're just kind of walking on the snow. So it made it easier for me to go down. By the way, if you're wondering, the website I'm using, it is takehike.io, and here you can find all the relevant information for the hike. You have the elevation profile here, and then all the stages with the map, and also you can download the GPX files. So it's all there, it's all free, so go ahead, check it out. I'll put the link down to the description. And so yeah, that's about it. That's Carros de Foc. Let me know down in the comments if you'd like me to do another hiking guide, and don't forget to subscribe.